Well, Richard Southern joins us now, and Richard, with sky-high pricing to talk about. This time we're talking about another area that's hit a new high.
Rentals in Toronto. I mean, we saw a big drop-off, Cynthia, for rental prices during the pandemic. Nobody was moving around.
Especially in the big condos. Nobody wanted to be in them.
No, you wanted to get out of town.
Yeah.
Different story now. People want back in Toronto, and rental prices are surging. We found out today that the average cost to rent an apartment in Toronto saw its biggest jump in 3 years. Cynthia, we're here at Queen's Park today with the mayor and with the premier. So I wanted to ask Mr. Ford and Mr. Tory, what are you going to do about these sky-high rental prices?
What are you both doing today to help alleviate the soaring cost of housing? And Premier, when you hear that, you think twice about bringing back rent control, sir.
Yeah, good question. We did have that discussion, and really what we need to do is really encourage the developers out there to build more rental units. I know we've built more rental units last year than we had in 30 years, but we have to continue the pace, and they're finding it challenging as well to build more rentals as we see interest rates are going up.
And the Premier and I talked today about a number of things we can do together with the federal government to make sure that we have an adequate supply, an increased supply of attainable housing for people who are working. They've got jobs, good jobs in many cases, but this is an expensive city.
It sure is. Cynthia, the average Toronto rental price went up almost 20% in May to $2,438. Burlington followed behind with an 18.3% uptick. Etobicoke up 17%. No easy answers with this one, though.
No
Cynthia.
easy answers, and even in their answers to your question, there's no quick fix here. No. This is not going to change anytime soon.
Got to build more, but that takes time, of course.
Absolutely. All right, well, moving on, a new train service could get you to a U.S. destination for a whole lot cheaper. Where would that be?
Union Station to Midtown Manhattan.
Ooh.
On the train for less than $300. No lines at the airport to worry about, Cynthia. This is a service that Via Rail and Amtrak had done for decades. It stopped during the pandemic. It is back on as of today. They do the customs at the border. The guys come on the train to do the customs. So you really don't have to wait in any lines.
Interesting.
It does take 13 and a half hours, though, on the train. But you can get a coach ticket for less than $300. Might prove popular with what's going on at the airport with some travelers. Cynthia.
Definitely. Interesting. And, you know, if you take in travel time to the airport, being there a couple of hours early, waiting for your luggage, yeah, you know, maybe it's not as bad as it sounds initially.
13 and a half hours, though.
Okay, it sounds bad. All right.
My knees are
Compared to
cramping.
what, an hour flight? Yeah, okay. All right, now an oil industry executive, and I'm going to stress the word oil industry executive, right? Let's keep this in mind as we have this conversation. Has an interesting take on the electric vehicle market. Tell me more.
CEO of ExxonMobil told CNBC, the U.S. financial channel today, that he believes every single passenger car sold in the world will be electric by the year 2040.
Oh, okay.
And it's a bold prediction. Last year, just 9% of passenger cars were electric. Exxon says it's still looking at how this will affect its gasoline sales, but of course the company also into chemicals, and it notes that plastics that it currently makes could be used in the manufacturing of electric vehicles. So it's interesting to see how the oil companies are already not only predicting what's going to happen here, but talking about shifting their business and their focus as people buy less gasoline going forward.